Hi guys, and welcome to a new edition of Art Life with John and Bogdan.
Great, it's officially fall now. That's why we can actually sit outside without dying in the heat. So it's a time when lots of people start over, school starts, everybody kind of resets in the fall, and we're going to do that too.
So let's do that.
Hi, I'm John, and this is Bogdan. Join us on our journey as we figure out how to earn a living as artists, introduce you to those we meet, and share what we learn along the way.
Okay guys, it's good to see you again. We had a busy week as usual. There's nothing, no surprise there.
Good week.
Very good week. So you start your week with selling a piece and delivering a piece somewhere in Baytown, I believe.
Oh yes, I actually had sold a piece online, we may have talked about last time. We actually delivered it, and Jonathan is very happy with the work, and that makes me feel so good. Not only to have made the sale, but to know that somebody who got it really seems to enjoy the painting. So we're now driving to Baytown to deliver the painting. It's my painting called Quarantine. Guess when I painted it. And the reason we're going to deliver it, two reasons really. First, with the postal service being what it is these days, we've had things go missing and late deliveries. It's just a half an hour drive for us from town. So, and the other thing is we actually get to meet Jonathan in person and shake his hand and hopefully leave him a card, and hopefully he'll send us a picture of where Quarantine ends up in its permanent home. So road trip, and it's a beautiful little area. We'll cross the bay to Baytown.
It's a new week here in the studio, and I need to catch up with the hand embellished. Something's falling. I need to catch up with the hand embellished gold foil hand embellished prints. I was working before Guadalajara on a new edition of Sartorite drawing, and I had to postpone that because of so many events in my life. But now I have to catch up this week and finish this project so that my collectors won't be delayed too much. If you like this kind of hand embellished drawings, please do go to my website and check them out. There are only 10 in this series, so might as well get yourself one as they are still available. Thanks to Rosa Pollard and her, how do you call that, illustration portrait that steers some interest, and a relative of John find
Lauren, yeah. She may be watching. Hi, Lauren.
She found on my Instagram a portrait of her grandmother, right?
My grandmother, yeah.
That I put together some time ago, and that is from the series called Frances La Magnifique, and I have several in this series, and that has sold. This Saturday we had an open Saturday at the studio, and I had several others on the table, not for sale, but because I got to look for the piece for Lauren. Somebody said, "Oh my God, I just love this, and I'm going to consider them." So she took some pictures, she took some notes, she's thinking about it, but it's still some interest, and it's good.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Second Saturdays. We have studios at Silver Street Studio in Houston at the Sawyer Yards complex. And every second Saturday, everybody opens their studios and people come. And then our building opens on the third Saturdays. And other times people just show up, artists show up when they have time. But yesterday was our big second Saturday. And we had a pretty good crowd.
Yes,
it was a lot of people. People are back. A lot of people wearing masks, which is great. But the crowd seemed to be there. But we weren't making lots of sales. I made one sale, and thanks for that. Woohoo! And people are making sales and things. So people were around. People were buying. But it's not a huge buying crowd like it used to be. When we first moved there, the first week we were there, I think I had 280 people through my studio on a Saturday. It almost intimidated me. And people would routinely make enough to pay their rent in that one day. That hasn't happened since.
What I sense that happened this time, in the same time with our event, we had an open market outside.
Right.
And a lot of people got into the studios by accident in a way.
Well, yeah. Collateral.
And they were not ready, they were very interested in what they saw, at least in my studio, but they were not ready to buy art that day. They got a lot of business cards, they got in a chat with me, so we talk about all kinds of things. I actually had a gentleman very, very interested in some of those synopsis series, but he was in a date with somebody, said, I'm gonna have to come by myself here and check these things out in depth, because you have he said, quote, very good stuff in here.
So when we're looking at building an art business, we have to realize that this second Saturday event is really important. We make lots of contacts. It's kind of like the event in Mexico. You don't see results right away, but you're building foundations.
Exactly.
People are taking your cards, they're getting to know you, they come back to see you. But it's a long-term process, and it doesn't pay the bills the way something needs to do. So certainly I'm not saying that we shouldn't be doing the second Saturdays, but we've got to find other ways to bring in more income in other areas. So that's something we need to look at.
One way is you guys check our websites for new work all the time, because we have a lot of stuff piling up. Actually, this week I finally released on my website a series called Unwritten that I worked for some time ago. It's a black and white, made out of gray paper on gray background. And the thing is, I just left the paper do whatever it wants, and then when I achieved that organic form, abstract forms, and I photographed it, and I think it's a great series and great images, don't you?
I think it's one of the, I like to think of it as being like pure photography, because it's not about anything other than shadow and light and texture. And in this case, not a lot of color, but it's just, they're beautiful images, and they're very, very evocative, and they get a lot of response.
Yes, and one of the piece, a literate is called, has been gifted to my main collectors last year. So some of them are out there in the market. I think I have only one left of that image, so go check it out.
I have been really, really busy this week working on the studio across the street.
You've been busy.
I have.
How about me?
I've done a lot. And so one of the questions that is coming up now as I'm starting to actually move furniture back in and things like that, that we need to decide what it is functionally that a studio, a home studio, well, any studio needs to have. And so we've kind of been talking a lot this week about what are the main functions that we have to achieve and that this studio needs to provide.
I mean, it has to be a work environment where you can mess up a lot of things, but it has to have something comfortable, a corner where you can sit, where you can feel good, when you can take a breath and reflect upon what you created. And so I envision there is in the big living room where the main central area is, I'm envisioning a kind of a bigger table, a working table. I'm envisioning by the window a little sitting areas with 2 chairs and have a little kitchenette.
Because we've got the kitchen there.
We need a coffee once in a while. We're not gonna cook in there, that's for sure.
You keep going out for lunch, not only do you get fat, but you waste a lot of time that you could be working. So we need space to be able to record videos and take photographs, things like that, because that's an important part of the marketing bit, right? And then, of course, we need working space. So I need place to paint. Mom's room has this floor-to-ceiling, really tall window that lets in lots and lots of natural light. And I'm just really, really digging that. That's great.
And I have to add here that not only the room has big windows, they have been recently cleaned after many, many, many years, and there's even more light coming in.
That was quite an adventure. When I finally won the battle with all the red wasps, I was able to get to the outside and clean the windows. So that's happened. And then we actually also need some sort of like a workspace, a kind of a workshop. A place that we can cut wood and make frames and stretch canvases and do those kinds of things. And we have a lovely attached garage that will serve for that. So it's actually turning out to be quite the spot for us.
And we already did some purchases and are getting ready. So for the garage thing, you bought 4 LED panels, and when I'm saying LED, it's just a strips LED. There's like giant panels, 4 of them, and that would be like I'm afraid of like a surgery.
Yeah, it's going to look like an operating room. We don't have to put them all in, but I think that'll be great. I want lots of light. I want to be able to go in there and paint or to draw or to do. Yeah. I want that space to be incredibly useful. And what that means light, right?
And I think we ordered the carpets, some strips of carpets for the house just to break up the echo, not necessarily that we need a carpet in there.
You did the carpet squares in the hallway, hiding that awful brickwork.
That was, and altogether was a roughly a save of $6,000.
Exactly. And so basically we were going to carpet the entire place again. And everybody said, why are you carpeting an art studio? That's stupid. You're just going to get paint everywhere.
Totally agree.
And we were like, yeah, it kind of looks kind of cool now. So.
But the thing is, when we removed the carpets, the old carpets, the cement wasn't as clean as we wanted to be. And then this week, at the beginning of the week, when we did actually got in there and did some cleanup, I said, I'm going to fix these things. So I was able to remove all the roughness of the cement and stain it with a cement color so that it's all uniform. And
well, it's not uniform, but it's not as abrupt. That's kind of nice that it's modeled like that, and it has various.
It looks fine. I can live with that.
Yeah, I think it looks really good, and it's getting really, really comfortable. Just as well, because just yesterday I got a commission. Thank you, Keith, to do 15 small 8x10 paintings for Keith. And,
good for you.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So I'm going to be starting on those today, and we'll crank those out. So he's got things to give for Christmas presents, which is lovely.
And now you're busy creating these things. If you guys want more commissions about my work, I'm just saying, you know where to find me.
Excellent. So yeah, that's going on, and will be a constant change for us. And pretty exciting, I think.
Una breve referencia, muy breve referencia sobre Bogdan, como para que lo conozcamos. nació en Rumania durante los años del comunismo. Después de la revolución, la prensa libre estaba estaba en su infancia él.
Right after we finished the Open Saturday, I went straight into an interview with the Festival de Fotografía Artística in Argentina.
That was fun.
And I had John as a not only a translator, but an interpreter in a way, just because he knows everything about my work, and it was easy for him to translate for everybody the behind stories.
I don't think they had any idea who I was. That was kind of funny.
Really
they were like, why is this guy there?
Yeah,
but it was good. I think I enjoyed it, and it was a very, very interesting conversation. I don't know, what were there, 20, 30 people there?
Probably.
It was a nice group, and they show up last year for his online artist talk as well. And so they're very, very supportive. You could see in their eyes and in their faces that they were very, very interested and supportive. He's quite the hit in Argentina.
And very good questions altogether. From technical points, from the paper I use, from what I'm working next, what's new.
Thematic stuff, the symbols that you used, they were quite into the conversation.
I had a very good...
And it's a beautiful series.
I had a very good time, and once they put this video up on YouTube, I will share it with you guys.
Yeah, it sounds great. So that was quite an honor. And I guess in addition to that, now you are going to be listed as someone that people can talk to get a review, a portfolio review for the photographers who are interested in that.
And talking about this, I want to add that this week I had a very interesting conversation with a lady I met in Guadalajara.
Oh yeah.
She is a young photographer, and she kind of tiptoeing the art of photography. And when I met her there, I said, if you want to talk with me, I can share with you anything. She did. And she said, I'm ready to print 10 photographs. What paper should I use? Okay, and I said, share with me the photos. Let me take a look at them. So then I start the conversation about the paper, and then I realized that she doesn't really know how to edition, and she doesn't really know how to create a series. So I had an hour conversation on chat on Instagram about all these things.
And what a great gift. I mean, if you'd have had somebody to answer those kind of basic questions that you don't know how to ask until that comes up, that's a huge help you're giving her.
Yes.
And she's wonderful.
Yes, and I said, anytime you have you stuck somewhere, write to me and I'll find a solution for you. I can answer a question. I can guide you somewhere, and that was really good.
And having those kinds of relationships with other artists is key.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that came out in the conversation last night when he was doing his talk in Argentina was that his work changed when we moved to the big Sawyer Yards.
Yeah.
When we were in constant contact with lots of other artists in other disciplines, his work started to change. And I think that is one of the most powerful kind of testimonials on the importance of having that community of artists that it doesn't have to be a big community, but someone you can bounce ideas off and get inspiration from.
Yeah, it's because it's when I realized that actually art has no boundaries.
Exactly.
Why do
That's
I have?
the point, right?
Yeah. Why do I have to be like everybody else? Why, it's a picture, great, but how can I make it even more interesting? How can I push the boundaries of photography?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I had a lady come in yesterday, and there was a bit of a lull, and she actually just pulled up a chair and she said, "I love art. I want to collect art, but I don't know anything about art. What do I do?" And I was like, "Wow, this is an interesting conversation from the point of view of a collector. Is that she feels inadequate to collect art? It's like, ma'am, if you've got money and you like something, the conversation's over. Buy it."
It's so funny that you said that, because I had another guy contacted me, a friend of me, not a very close friend, but a person that I know for some time. He contacted me and said, "Listen, I have this big house and a lot of white walls. I want to start somewhere." He knew I'm an artist. I said, okay, how do we start here? And I said, you have two options here. You become a collector or you go to Hobby Lobby. I said, no.
Probably aren't the only two options, but I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But they said, no, I don't wanna, I want art from an artist. And I said, great. So here is my website. Let's start from here, and we'll open up this discussion.
And I gotta warn those collectors. Once you get the bug, it's a whole career in itself.
Yeah.
You know?
And I said you should collect for people that you like. You should get art that you like. Don't match your art necessarily with the carpet. Doesn't work that way. And it has to be something that you feel good about it. When you look at art, you how to say that?
It feeds you.
It feeds you. It changes you. You feel something for it. It's more than a decorative piece.
Right, and people don't run back into a burning house to save the sofa. They go for the Picasso.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog edition, and remember to
Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really helps our channel. In fact, we got another subscriber just yesterday, so thank you. I don't know who you are, but thank you. So we need to build those numbers. It helps our channel if you do.
thank you guys for everything. We'll see you next week.
Bye now.